Evan Taylor. He's Associate Professor of Economics at the Eller College of Management at the University of Arizona.
Well, Evan, WalletHub is out with a study that says Arizona is in the 10th most shutdown-affected locale in the United States, basing that on metrics that include things like share of federal jobs, federal contracts, dollars per capita, and national park access. Do you agree with their conclusion?
Yeah, I think that seems about right. It feels like, based on Arizona's economy, that the Arizona's been a little more hit than the average state. We're pretty high in national parks, of course. Another metric they used was the percentage of the economy that's housing, which is pretty high in Arizona. And there's been some slowdown in sort of FHA loans and VA loans. I'm not sure exactly how large of a problem that is, but in terms of federal workers, Arizona is about average. So I think Arizona's been hit a little bit worse, but certainly not the worst off state.
Right. And we could be in the top 10 and it's still not affecting us tremendously. Is that kind of where you're at, thinking wise?
Yeah, I think, for the average person, probably this has not impacted you so much in your day-to-day life, but it's going to impact some people a lot. The people that are on furlough, the people not getting paychecks, that's going to impact them a lot. But that's only something like 2% of Arizona's workers.
Of course, there's a cumulative effect, though, isn't there, Evan, as time kind of goes by with all of this?
Yeah. And it will get worse as time goes on. It'll especially get worse if programs like food stamps and WIC run out of money. That hasn't happened yet. It could happen in November if this drags on longer, and that would be probably the worst thing to come from this.
I hate to make you read the political tea leaves as opposed to the economic tea leaves, but it doesn't feel like we're going to have this settled by maybe even November, does it?
Well, so I was looking at markets today. They think that this will probably get settled in November, but that there is a chance that this will drag on even further, like into December. That this it doesn't seem like it's going to end by November. That seems pretty unlikely to me. I think probably they'll get it together in November, but that's definitely not a guarantee. So this could drag on for quite a while.
Yeah.
Speaking with Evan Taylor at the University of Arizona this morning, a Bankrate survey, Evan, shows workers feel that their income is falling behind inflation. Nearly 2 in 3 workers say their income has not kept up with the pace of increases in household expenses due to inflation over the past 12 months. Are they right at this point?
Well, I think we should take people at their word. So if they say that their income's not keeping up with inflation, we should believe them. And we do see this in the data, too, that wage growth has slowed quite a bit over the last 3 years. The official wage growth numbers are something like 4%, so it is a little bit higher than inflation. But remember, that's the average wage growth. So a lot of people aren't going to see maybe any wage growth or wage growth that is lower than the inflation rate, which is about 3%. You should also keep in mind that household payments and what people are spending money on might go up by more than the inflation rate, depending on how that household finances work.
Speaking of,
we know that housing prices keep going up. What people are spending on rent keeps going up. We've seen food prices go up quite a bit, especially things like meat and coffee. I think that for a lot of households, wages are falling behind inflation.
Yeah, my vegetarian sister-in-law is onto something at this point. I really feel like that. Speaking of inflation, we're going to get a delayed CPI report on Friday of this week. Real quickly, Evan, is this going to finally be the inflation report that reflects the tariffs? And what's it going to look like, do you think? And how will it affect the Fed going forward with their interest rate decisions?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to look pretty similar to what we've seen in the last couple months, with inflation sort of elevated a little bit, but not extremely high. Hard to say how much tariffs are going to impact this inflation report. We've seen, I think, sort of moderate impacts of tariffs. We've seen it more specifically in certain goods. I mentioned coffee before. That's one that's been hit really hard. But on average, most of the stuff we consume is produced here. So I don't think tariffs are going to have a huge impact on inflation. In terms of how it's going to impact what the Fed does, I don't think it'll impact what the Fed does at all. They're going to cut next week, sort of no matter what happens with the CPI report. And I think in December, they're going to cut again, almost certainly, unless something sort of drastic happens between now and December. We're going to see sort of 2 cuts by the end of the year.
All right. Thanks a lot.
That's Evan Taylor, Associate Professor of Economics at the Eller College of Management at the University of Arizona on this Money Monday.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.